What the? What? Why have I not gotten this yet? Right, let's start collecting up memories. Weird sentence to say, honestly. I wish my leggings were better. I'd like to just go Herobrine on enemies rather than the stealth mask, which I don't like, since it covers up way too much face. What the heck? Do I have high? Did I accidentally turn on high jump in combat options or something? The video just started, but I already want to do something. It's either custom player stats or combat system. Easy slow bow. Yeah, I might have accidentally left this on. Making the bow suck ass is pretty funny. I'll try using this. I am already at level 2 anyway, so I'm not gonna feel anything. But at least it'll make the payoff at level 3 a little better. I don't want to use archery stamina where we just have infinite. Flurry rushing, slow bow, and all those. I don't want them to be too reliable. I think they're too reliable in the base game. Aw.
Would young Joseph Joestar be? I'll be going over the idea and see what we can get off of this. Because off the top of my head, he gets clapped in part three, but let's see what we can do with part one. So let's look at Joseph Joestar. Now, originally, I had written up some stuff about how much stronger and faster and all that part one deal was, but if you were to really look at both part one and part two, I'd say that the characters are fairly comparable for the most part. We've seen characters lift a lot in part one, specifically Tarkus, but lifting doesn't equate to your attack potency. So realistically, when you consider part one and part two, I'd say that these characters are all fairly similar when it comes to the main people we're fighting. The exception to this generalization, or just as a group of characters, I'd say would be the Pillarmen of all the characters, because they were really that strong. Now, Joseph Joestar is a genius. There's nothing for me to debate there. As he was modeled as a Sherlock Holmes type character, it's going to make a lot of sense as to why he'd be smart. He takes apart situations and boil down to science. His examination is some of the best in the verse, and his problem solving planning makes you think that there's no way that you're beating this guy. For example, young Joseph Joestar defeated ACDC. To some, ACDC was the Pillarman that was just there. If that is the case to you, ACDC was a massive competition of its time. Between 3000 and 50 BC, Pillarmen were roaming on
I
the
mean, he
search
really
for the
was,
Red Stone of
though.
Asia. And
He was
ACDC
just there.
and
The fight with him
had
was
found
cool, but
himself
that
in
was all he
China
really
on
did
the search for the Red
at the end
Stone.
of it
And
all.
ACDC in specific had familiarized himself with the art of war by Sun Tzu, and potentially more, considering that he was in a pretty good time to learn about battle, how to mess up your opponent, all that type of stuff. And Pillarmen were already extremely intelligent in comparison to
The
the last four
Yeezy's
that
logo
we put
still
on were the
hasn't
smartest ones that I've
still
seen.
takes place. Is it
With
is
everything
it a
else,
skill thing?
Joseph had defeated them all, including Cars in his ultimate form that had incredible biological adaptability and regeneration. He was just all around one of the strongest characters in JoJo, but it made me thinking, well, if that's the case, Joseph should be able to defeat Dio. And on paper, it should be true, but I think the biggest thing that matters here is the environment where the battle is taking place and what Joseph has on his person. Now, Joseph beat Ultimate Cards, right? But if you give Joseph the tools that he typically has, the battle is a lot different. For example, the Red Stone of Asia is just not common to Joseph, which was the only real reason why he won there. So if you were to give Joseph the same fight without the stone, he'd die. There'd be no way that he'd fight cars or even do anything near the same way. And that's the problem here because against Dio, well, what is he about to do? Let's visualize this.
We don't have much stamina yet. That'll be our next stop. Oh, for now, though, I'm just gonna check everything because there's when I have more battery, and this doesn't require battery. Finally, weaponizing more. Kind of a launching platform sort. Oh, better. Why is it almost perfect? Yeah, literally right there. I mean, magic weapon I can't use. That'll be really. Oh, you're free 10 capsules. But yeah, 5 of those together, it's 60 capsules at Spencer. Gotta make it to that. We may need a bit of spring action though. Nice. Really have to just launch ourselves, stack this perfect line. These ones will be separate. Flatten that there. That'll push one way.
I'm perfectly
Yes.
fine if it is my reward for
We'll push the
having
other.
level 2.
Like 2 super springs. But combined, you have ultra spring. I think it's pretty nice.
I need
Now
a
we just need to make it
confirmation that
to
that is what
the
happens.
island. Pop that on.
Because it's supposed to
Nope.
only just be my attack speed that increases.
Nope. Perfect. Never mind. Again. We got very high up that time.
God, bright red.
Perfect. Now, just put that in the center. Go! Nice. Oh, there's the other wing. How do you get there? Forge Island. Literally just a bunch of exhaust pipes. And we have laser tunnel. How about just a pure skydive? See what happens. Well, oh my god! It actually worked! Sticky water. I don't know why that worked. The Zonai was calling to me. Oh, first. This really hidden chest. Below there. Oh. Still one.
This is outdated.
Literally one of the most hidden ones in the game. The most important for us. The waist guard. Totally changing up the look. But that is awesome. Almost done being archaic now. Oh yeah. This stuff. Weapons.
Okay,
So
it's
we like on this
possible
level more.
thanks to things
I forgot
glitching
there's a
out that
lot.
it didn't
Actually have things to utilize.
properly do its thing.
All the types already. Could be a nice returning place too. Uh-oh. One of these. I wonder how the run will be with this. Oh, there is Zonai weapons. Just a shield. Get out. Oh. Oh wait, the bombs. Guess we found our answer. You? Sure. Bye bye. Launch to the next guy. Bye bye. Think of spike shield. No. He's gonna take it. No. The others. This has gotta be the best way. Drop. Nice. Also, I can't activate that. Activate our beam. This is kind of crucial for them. That time dead. Okay. Infinite battery? This is better. This is the type of battery we'll have down the road. Everlasting. Beam spinner. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Doing a little night charge. There we go. At least that. So we're not letting that happen again. This is the tankiest guy. We're gonna need the beam. Oh yeah, what if we took this thingy? This'll work. Low gravity. Oh, both. There we go. And then I hit him on the way up. Wait, and the way down? Yeah! This thing
Nice.
sounds awesome! Our sniper tower. Back and forth and just oscillate the beams. Oh, you're not getting away. Bye bye. Nope. Yes, yes. Like waving. Yes, yes, yes. Literally hit it back too. Still hitting up. No. No, don't. We can't take a single hit. So don't. Okay.
Ah, there it is.
Uh-oh. Yeah! Take Yes! The shield first! Use the blind ankle. Bye to you. And to you. And you. And bye-bye. Oh, no! Oh, good thing it's not a one-shot. It's just almost a one-shot. We'll have to use beam spins of our own soon. Outside the shrine. Nothing happened. Whoa! Wait! We just carried the fire! I didn't know you could do that to grass. I mean, I guess that makes sense, but Link's face right now, he's not happy. Like, not at all. Okay. He'll be happy after this. For a large amount of parts. Well, damaging stuff. But the homing carts have our own little sentries to work with. Don't remind me. You know, there's this tower. There's the archipelago by the tower we didn't get. I have 2 pieces of zone I set. It reduces battery usage by 35%. Instead of just 20. You're in this mirror shield. Blind me. Oh. With a very specific eye point. There we go. Oh. The wrong guy. Oh, there we go. Mirror's still active. It's literally active all the way till 10 p.m. Almost no sun left. It reactivates at 3 a.m. It's really just such a small window where it goes dark. And of course, we're in the 5-hour stretch where the mirrors don't work. Oh wait, it's 2:35. There we go. That simple. Just with our shield. You know, I'm actually surprised. Sled mirror. Steering stick! Okay, we actually really needed that. Okay, already we're just 5 parts away from everything. Great and fast things. We already did big wheel recently. But for small wheel stuff, you know what? I think that is nearby too. No worries. Not a box. The first flux we fought was the easiest. The Great Sky Island one has a lot less health than the other level ones.
Huh, weird.
Well, there's a level 2 though. Go! Back scratch. Get D-cord. He's very tanky. Spinning him around. Oh my god, it just shot it far away. Bye-bye. Ow! Wait, seriously? Lost this. Look. Don't off battery. Woo! Imagine that. And, oh, don't have to imagine. We just do it. There we go. It's gone through 30 damage. There we go. It did not phase him though. That phased him. Let's ruin it. Perfect. Best way to go out. First real construct fight. You know, on the longsword, tier 2, 31. Spin to win type thing. We actually follow through with this strategy. But we stabilize the mechanism. Throw a banner on it. There we go. It'll eventually sort itself out. In orbits, there we go. Go like this. Not bad. Okay. Awesome!
I wish I had a better save file, but
It ran out! Yay? That was too close. Doing our best with low battery here. That camera turn. Actually, a good one. Wow. Some bombs. Oh, wheels. That's what I wanted.
painful. Oh, painful, son. Underestimate.
That's not what I wanted, but
Underselling it.
we have almost all the stuff now.
Dark Army
It's just
Resurrection
carts,
is hell.
hydrants, and contra pets. That's actually awesome. Not that time. Shield. Whoa!
Nice.
You have an axe? Oh, he doesn't have an axe, okay. Also, this makes no sense. You drain the water, but that fills it up again? Don't ask. Video game logic. So great. And that's so great, too. Already enough to upgrade a sage that we don't have. The final archipelago for the armor. It's actually going to be in Akala. The air travel will be a lot compared to what we have. Best spot? Start a little land adventure. Good road, you need a good car. I'm going to experiment a bit here. A little more of a speedier, stable land vehicle. Cooking pot suspension. Yes, right in the center. Right, let that go. Stability. And then, I know we have capsules, but there's always a free one that's here. I call this the snake scooter. It's very snaky. It's very good at whipping into chickens and boxes. This has a mind of its own.
That is a Sheikah slate. Take it.
Maybe
It will
I can
help guide
fix
you
up
after your long slumber.
alignment on this. You know what? I'm more proud of this. Okay, you know what? This actually works a lot better. Can't tilt it backwards. But it can still take kills easier if it's the joint. Never mind. I'm like a crappy car salesman who soups up everything right before it breaks. That tower will be a first good stop. Oh, whoa. Now you may be asking, what exactly does the back wheel do in this situation? Duck. So yeah, the back wheel has use. Okay. When you stumble across these randomly.
Wow.
Problem one. Okay. Good. Advanced solutions. The beam. We need a companion for this job. Get him.
Hold the Sheikah slate up to the pedestal.
Yeah.
Our starting gear
That
actually
will
sucks
show you
ass.
the way.
Start the fight. Oh. Get him. I can have friends working for me. It's my own constructs. Do that. We're gonna stun this guy in place. Ow! Do not? Okay. Yeah, down two. Now we wait. With our arms up, we can finally automate this. Vacation over. But that was good. Did the beam break these? No. That's going to.
You are the light.
Oh! It's not.
Our light.
I just kind of want to see.
That must shine
Maybe?
upon Hyrule once again. Now go.
If it's gonna work, it has to be statement. The force will be strong. Yes! Okay. Our mining construct. Nice. Okay. Ooh. I'm not at ore deposit. We had it longer. Okay. Mach 3? There we go. That appears to be good. Whoa. There we go. Wind up and...
Blitz already, really?
The whole wall. Get stoned. We're still place. That's it. Somehow. Made something that works. Overlord? Perfection. Not that though. Eat construct. You're eating the wrong. Oh right, it's not gonna be. It's gonna be out. And for sky guys, just gonna attacking a lot. Dump those walls. Perfect time. Okay, the wheel's hitting them. See if we get down from a few. Oh my god! They went. Thank you, Construct Friends, for helping. Oh well, Mr. Spen can take the day off here. Jojo, run. Proving ground rotation. We just did a bunch of spinning. This is all coincidences. Put a bomb on my back. No. Bye-bye. That's the wrong guy. Okay, perfect. Staging like a dummy. Bye-bye. You know what? Bye-bye. That was supposed to be cooler. There we go. I do have some more parts to experiment. I've only seen this one before, but I haven't used it myself. So then it's better for hunting kills and whatnot. side-to-side suspension. And we're just gonna see what happens. It stays upright. And there we go. Little two-wheel stabilized. Interesting. Maybe we can tilt them both back, though. There's one. We'll do this tilt for now. Just see what happens. Wherever that rock went to, anyways. Yeah, independent on each side. Suspended. Oh wow, it's got a stretch. Mechanical legs. It stays upright though. Can we try it? This is interesting. This hill is kind of a odd one to start with. But it's pretty easy to keep in place. Yes! It works! Okay. Well, let's see if it works. Okay. Tell the plot. Oh! Yes! Oh wow, it flips! The legs work. Okay, that part was really steep. No pressure there. This is actually really hard. Wow. It's awesome! All terrain! Spread out evenly. And it turns pretty well. You can drift on it. Oh, this is nice. A bit wide though. How's the bridge test gonna fare? With good driving skills, it would have been awesome. It's fairly battery efficient too. There we go. First two favorites of the run. Go Beetles out of the way. Kind of grips around them. You can do it. That was gonna bounce. Clearly it did not bounce. I'll let it go up a little bit more. Double recall. Actually nice, but we're actually full. Back if we need it. It has to dance with the shield. I'm gonna do has to after the first dungeon, because it's a lot easier to get them done. You don't have to do his save and quest first time. You'll just be able to go land it. Yeah, once we have the full armor, then I guess the last big thing, a bit more battery can help. But really, I want to push our first dungeon after that. That's a big pack. Go! Push him over! Yes! Best combat device. Bombs work. No dance, like has to. Alright. Just blind him a bit. Literally like killed him. Headshot. Back swing. Ouch. Oh, this is where we get the arrow. It is! What a rare commodity for no reason. Just currently. Well, the test is really fun. Energy efficient. Here, our next one will be a little poker. Say poker, not the captain. It's going to be a little more zoning part upgrades. Got it. Level 3. Bye-bye. Like the wheels kind of nice. This does the splits. Not stopping much even. Thanks, you guys, for you. Launching up with me. Did you have fun legs? We'll get back to you. Why not? Shit. That's all good. It was right over there, actually. It's completely skipping the door. Fan spinning.
Alright.
It was my idea.
Why?
Oh. We'll be missing a few now.
Why is our jump so good?
Carts! Alright. Quite simply. There's already everything there. It's just like Tiger and Usher type, I believe. Yeah. Now that shall be better. Like that. And... Stop right on cue. Reverse that. Look at the right. Thanks. that again. Perfect. Literally a landing strip there. Make it just to the front. Dolphin dive. Fun. Or just one extender is good. Perfect. Move that to the tower. We're at a good altitude. A little turbulence. A lot of clouds. It's a beautiful night. About 45 seconds to your destination. We'll be landing in a college shortly. Suspend your captain, and meal service is now in effect. Yum, yum. And again, preparing for an emergency stop. Oh, what this will do? Oh, finally I rank up. Oh, me, I'm just gonna be laughing out of here. Nice sunset. Ooh, wow, that's really bright. We're so close now. Oh, I can't look up. There. We jump through. Wing shot. Got the wing. What do you have? A thingy. You know, I forgot that was the puzzle. I just wanted to kill him. Wonder, can we just fly there from here? Pop. And make it. Yep. Perfect. Okay. Okay, this one later. But it's its neighbor. Bye-bye, plane. 3, 2, 1, let's break. Oh wow, one stayed on. I think we just... Nothing new? Wait! Hydrants! Okay, good for the water area coming up. Like 3 streams into this and ready almost everything. The sky mine. As long as it doesn't smack me in the head. Almost dead.
It might be the girly animation pack.
Sure. Actually? Oh, the shrine crystal, okay. I don't know how this is much of a mine. There's like one little mining rock. Yeah. Fire in the hole? Oh my god. That's so funny. E4. Oh, you got this. It's the way it tumbles. Ever so gracefully. You know what? I feel so confident that I messed it up. No, I didn't. I'm perfect. Woohoo! We took a trip together. This won't be enough. That was enough. And where are you opening? There you are. Yes! Everything revolves around this chest. For the full look, Zelda in the back, the shin guards. Improving efficiency. So, we are improved. Well, there's one train here, we're gonna finish it. Is it just a straight drop? It is. Because even without the fire, it makes things drop slow. That's not perfect. Wait, maybe it is. It's close. Look at this. And fall to me. Woohoo! I'll take a strawberry jump. Okay, well, basically here. Just have to talk to, well, Sidon first. Take us down. I guess that's one way to enter the domain. But I don't want to go there first. Yeah, I'm wondering if we could talk to Sidon and pseudo skip the domain stuff. I mean, if not, that's fine, because we can get this warp. Warp, because we won't have the Zor armor. We're getting up. But does this work? You can sequence break. Won't be using too much of them, though. Only the mandatory stuff. Could just ascend, but that's cooler. Oh! Instant. I'm gonna, like, plop it. Essentially. I like doing the shrines. It's still my second time doing all these shrines. Because in the past challenge runs, we really didn't do shrines. Always appreciate a second playthrough. Sometimes I enjoy things just as much the second time as it is the first time. Woo. You know what? I haven't been to one yet. Someone never try it. Green zoning gets the green power. Yeah. Imagine doing hearts. Couldn't be me. Battery. Let's get kicked off. That's just fine. Fill up the battery. Break the current, or what do you mean? That's a good tester. What if I did that? Wait. Perfect. So I can test the water safe. No. Maybe a little too safe.
May
Recharge.
as well change our
Wait,
animations a little.
Rhythm.
I'm gonna try placing girly animation pack
That
lower
too.
alongside Linkle.
Big fan. A lot of splash. Oh my god. All at once.
Like, I don't know, how much
Until
can you
we
get
get our
away
own
with
rain
that?
to help it. Baby rain.
Because Hyrule Rebalance and a bunch of other things need to be high up. Because I'm pretty sure they won't work otherwise. I'll try putting girly. I don't think it matters if girly animation's above or below, right? It would be very funny to see default Link with all the girly animations. Wouldn't be too out of character for him, I'd say. He's a quirked up white boy.
Does The Prince of Egypt take place in the same world as Shrek? Do the Croods movies somehow set up the wild robot? Is it even possible for all of the DreamWorks animated films to exist in one cohesive universe? It might seem impossible, but, well, we're shooting for the moon with this one. Hello, Internet! Welcome to Film Theory, the show that once again wants to say, hey, theorists! So last year, our team put together the Disney Theory, putting all of Disney's main animated films into one single timeline. This was inspired by the Pixar Theory, the same idea, except for Pixar, obviously, first created by John Negroni and then picked up by several other online theorists like our friends, the Super Carlin brothers. Honestly, it was some of the most fun I've ever had on a project, and I think that you guys agreed because there were a lot of you in the comments asking if we could do the same thing with DreamWorks, and I thought, yeah, good question. Finally, a worthy opponent. Our battle will be legendary. It sounded simple enough, right? Well, that was until I realized that we were trying to connect everything from a caveman comedy, an epic battle between dragons and humans, a bee-based courtroom drama, and so many talking
A
animals.
bee-based
Like way more
courtroom
talking animals than
drama.
expect. So me and
That
the
is
team
a
got
very
together
good
and
synopsis.
immediately started a rewatch of the 54 DreamWorks animation films. That's actually 8 fewer than we covered for the Disney timeline, so piece of cake, right? Wrong! This was actually one of the most challenging projects we've ever taken on. And it's literally taken our team a year to put together the research for this. Why was it so difficult? Well, just like with the Disney theory, most of the movies were pretty ambiguous about when and where they take place, so we had to really put in the work to get the dates to line up, taking into account historical references, landscapes and architecture, clothing, the source material, and Easter eggs, all so we could come up with the strongest possible conclusion. But unlike Disney, DreamWorks movies are really concentrated in the 20th and 21st centuries, meaning that there's way more overlap, let alone all the spin-off shows and stuff from other franchises that DreamWorks has worked on. Seriously, did you know that after Universal bought DreamWorks, they had animated kid shows for both Jurassic Park and Fast and Furious? Or that DreamWorks in general has just made 60
I feel
TV
like the
series?
animations
Sorry,
aren't
we're
working.
good, but I don't think anyone's good enough to work in Velociraptors roaming the Earth and Dominic Toretto's Familia alongside donkey, dragons, and super villainous aliens. So here's how we're gonna run things today. Firstly, we're focusing mainly on the official canon of DreamWorks feature animation. That means that we will
That
be
rain
looking
effect's really
most
nice.
exclusively at the main movies created by the main DreamWorks studios released in theaters. So if they worked on one movie in a series, but nothing else, like the first Wallace
If
and
Link will
Gromit
decide
movie,
to
then
enjoy
we'll
looking at
count
her
that,
muscles,
but
that's how
not the
I'll know
prequels
something's
and
really
sequels that
wrong.
DreamWorks didn't work on.
And
That being
besides,
said,
the
we might
jumping
include
is
stuff
still
released
fucked.
on theatrical movies and shows if it helps us place our main movies on the timeline. In fact, we might also include, well, marketing material for that same reason. Yeah, there was a surprising amount of information hidden in places like trailers and commercials, which made our lives both simpler and more difficult at the same time. So we created a sort of hierarchy of evidence for the DreamWorks canon, just in case there were some contradictions. At the top of this hierarchy, anything we see from one of the main movies, that stuff's canon. It's the authority. But right below that, on the second tier, we have the TV shows and non-theatrical sequels and prequels to help fill in the gaps if and when we need it. And finally, at the bottom, we'll have what I'll call supplemental material. That's stuff like
Dude,
trailers
are
and
you just gonna be the
commercials, but also
fucking
video games, books, posters, all
Aztec
that jazz. This will help point
face
us in the right
statue
direction,
emoji
but we'll only
forever?
really resort to that if we
Please
have
do
to.
something.
Next, I want to give a massive shout out to all of the DreamWorks fans on Reddit and the wikis for their hard work cataloging a lot of the information about these films. We literally could not have done this without you guys. And just like the Disney theory, this was not something we could fit into one video given our timelines and the holidays coming up. So just like last year, we're going to be splitting this up into 2 parts, but to make up for that, we do have a question for you, loyal theorists. Who do you think would win in a fight? Shrek, Toothless, or Poe? If you think it's Shrek, go to the comments and use the word onion in your reply. For Toothless, comment the word wingspan, and for Poe, use the word bamboo. Using those words will make it way easier for us to tally things up. I also considered throwing in the penguins of Madagascar in here too, but asking someone to fight them would be like asking them to battle Jackie Chan in a chair and ladder factory. You ain't winning that, bub. Anyway, leave your comments and I'll let you know who you think will win in
Right,
part
in
2 when
that
it
case,
hits
I'm
before
just
the end
gonna
of the
embrace
year.
the high
And finally,
jump.
before we get started, listen, we gotta pay the bills. Sometimes trying to talk to someone on the phone ain't as fun and silly as a kid's animated movie. It can feel like you might as well be on the moon with crappy service and so many contracts, catches, everything's so difficult to understand. But that all changes thanks to the partner for today's theory.
How long has
Mint
it
Mobile. If
been
you
like
don't know,
that and
Mint
I
Mobile
never
is a
noticed?
wireless network that's trying to challenge the industry norms. They cut to the chase and don't want you overpaying for features you don't actually want or need. It's just their premium service starting at $15 a month. Trust me, you almost certainly would be covered by Mint. They have the largest 5G network in the country, covering 98% of Americans. And their 4G LTE network gets that up to 99%. They don't want you to overpay for some crappy one-size-fits-all deal. You get to choose the amount of data that feels right for you, that will work with what you need. So if you're a loner ogre living in a swamp that doesn't need to talk to anyone, maybe a 5 GB plan makes sense. But if you're a busy bee talking to anyone and everyone all over, maybe you might want to go with the unlimited data plan. Whatever makes sense for you. Switching over is also super easy. You can keep your own phone or get a new one from Mint. You can keep your own phone number and your contacts, and you can sign up and activate service with an eSIM all from the comfort of your own home. Fun fact, but 96% of users are highly satisfied with Mint's customer care. And on the off chance that you're just not feeling it, hey, all of their plans come with a 7-day unconditional money-back guarantee. And right now Mint is offering new customers their best offer of the year. All unlimited plans are 50% off. So go click the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen to get 3, 6, or 12 months unlimited for just $15 a month. Thanks again to Mint Mobile for sponsoring today's theory, but let's get back into this DreamWorks timeline. In the beginning, there was nothing. And then, forces beyond our comprehension created the universe. Yeah, in this canon, some higher power, whether you want to call it an extra-dimensional being or a godlike character, created the DreamWorks universe. And this being would later become known to many people of the DreamWorks version of Earth as the god of the Abrahamic religions.
Who made the deaf, the mute, the seeing, or the blind? Did not I? Not me, Your Excellency. The explanation comes from God.
So, yeah, things are already starting off crazy. But they immediately get crazier because probably the biggest, most recurring thing
Why
that
would it be
sets the DreamWorks
crazy?
timeline apart from our
Christianity is a
absurd
widely
Celestial bodies
believed
like the
religion.
moon seem to have some sort of magical powers. Yeah, whether that's the same power as the higher being or something else, who can say? We'll touch on big examples as we go through the movies, but the moon in the DreamWorks timeline is particularly special, giving off some sort of magical power or radiation or something that has impacted the entire universe and diverted the timeline. And because of that, the moon, or whatever power it has, becomes personified. Sometimes it's called a man in the moon. But other times, it's depicted as a little boy casting a fishing line down to the earth below. Yeah, the DreamWorks logo itself is canon to this timeline. You'll love to see it. But moving on from that, we come to the first film in the DreamWorks canon, The Croods, and all of its caveman antics. And already we hit complicated territory. See, the Crood family appear to be early Homo sapiens, which would place this film in the Paleolithic era, roughly 300,000 years ago. And thanks to the Croods, a new age, and the Betterman family's advancements in agriculture and permanent shelters, we should be able to pin that down even further to the Neolithic Revolution around 10,000 BC. Easy, right? Well, here's the problem. See, the first Croods movie builds up to an event called The End, where major changes in plate tectonics split up the major continent of Earth. And it seems like this is supposed to be when Europe and North America split apart in the real world. According to some estimates, this took place around 55 million years ago, which lines up perfectly with the marketing material set in these movies during the made-up Cretaceous period, 55 million years ago. Now, IRL, that would be ridiculous. Our distant ancestors 55 million years ago would have been around the size of a pygmy mouse lemur. Oh, just look how cute this little guy is. But I guess the higher power in the moon entity protected the early humans and prolonged evolution. Even the Croods TV series seems to acknowledge that the moon is watching over them.
The moon's looking at me funny again. We need to go smash his face!
And they also believe that the moon has magical powers. I love how weird and consistent that is. Anyway, the next few dozen million years go by without any major additional events in the timeline, with humans slowly evolving and civilizations slowly building up. But alongside them, due to the influence of the moon magic, animals begin to evolve and mutate into fantastical creatures. Some are able to understand or even speak human languages, while others have their bodies changed, allowing them to stand up and seem remarkably human. Because of this, many set up their own communities distinct from humanity. In some cases, they remain close to human civilization, while others retreat to far corners of the world like the Valley of Peace or deep in the ocean. Other animals are transformed by the moon magic and become creatures that are only legends in our world. Think dragons and yetis, krakens and fairies. Magic and myth are very much a part of this world, which leads to several stories that are important religious events in our timeline to be actual events with explanations in this very different DreamWorks timeline. For example, this eventually gets us to Joseph, King of Dreams, based on the biblical story from the book of Genesis. There's some debate about where this tale slots into history, but plenty of biblical scholars place it in Egypt's second intermediate period, which would be sometime between 1700 and 1550 BC. Just for simplicity's sake, we're going to put this smack dab in the middle at 1625 BC. That checks out, as this is a story about Joseph helping an Egyptian pharaoh save food to help his people outlast an upcoming famine. When that famine eventually hits, many people flock to Egypt looking for food, including Joseph's family and many early Hebrews. Sadly, just like in the real world, several generations later, many of these Hebrews find themselves enslaved by the current Egyptian pharaoh. This brings us to the events of the Prince of Egypt, which tells the biblical story of Moses from the book of Exodus. As with Joseph's story, there was some debate about when exactly this was supposed to happen. But because Moses' adopted brother is identified as Ramesses II, that lets us put this movie around 1250 BC. The Prince of Egypt also gives us our first real glimpse at the true power of the moon in this universe. I mean, just check out the climax of this film. Just before Moses parts the sea, the sky darkens and we get some dramatic lighting. Almost as if the sun has set and the moon has come out to watch. In fact, the entire trek through the Red Sea takes place at night, and the water falls back down when the sun rises. And I mean, hey, these movies are clearly very different versions of the biblical stories. Throwing in some moon magic doesn't really make it all that much more different. But with that, we need to fast forward quite a bit.
Depending on who you
Thousands of
talk to, it
years into
could
the
be
future
heresy.
to the Middle Ages. During this time jump, humans did their
Those
human
people
thing,
are the
caused a
most
great
boring.
deal of friction with the creatures they shared the earth with. Many of them are hunted, while others are forced into hiding. More or less, they start the process of becoming legends, though they still exist out in the world to some extent. Around 0 AD, an intelligent turtle named Uruguay leaves his home in the Galapagos Islands and travels the world to learn about other cultures. He visits several corners of the world before eventually settling in what is now China, where he discovers a beautiful pool overlooking the Valley of Here, he meditates and eventually creates the martial art of Kung Fu, teaching the skill to various
He
humans and
invents
animals
Kung Fu.
alike. This then leads us to the events of Sinbad, Legend of the Seven Seas. They made this one easy for us, since every version of the Legend of Sinbad takes place during the early Abbasid Caliphate, between the 700s and 800s AD. After this, we jump forward a couple hundred years to the How to Train Your Dragon trilogy. Obviously, these take place during Viking times, but you might not know that spanned from the 8th to 11th centuries, the 700s to 1000s. Thankfully for us, though, there are clues in the films themselves to narrow it down even further. Firstly, we see in these films that Viking culture has been around for a long time, going back many generations and hundreds of years.
300 years, and I'm the first Viking who wouldn't kill a dragon.
That puts us towards the end of the Viking Age, but believe it or not, we can dial it in even further thanks to some Tier 3 sources. The art book for How to Train Your Dragon 2 mentions
I can
that
put
the story
Linko
takes
mod
place
in
8
the
millennia or 1,000 years ago. Same with the companion
girly
book, To
animation
Earth and
pack
Beyond,
really,
which is set
really
10
low as
centuries
well.
ago. And finally, and most comically, we can thank the 2010 Winter Olympics for an exact date. Yeah, really. During that year, DreamWorks made several promos to tie in with the games, showing the franchise characters participating in their own Olympics. And the date on those promos? You guessed it, 1010 AD. That would mean that the first film is in 1010 AD, the second in 1015 AD, and the third in 1016 AD. The end of this trilogy also sees a big change to the world, and explains the end of the Viking Age as the dragons retreating into the Hidden World, a subterranean cavern where they can be safe from humans. But don't worry, loyal theorists, dragons don't disappear entirely from the DreamWorks universe, but we'll get back to that. For the time being, though, across the world, in an isolated community of anthropomorphic animals in the Valley of Peace, a panda named Po is named the Dragon Warrior during the events of Kung Fu Panda and its various sequels. And just because we can hear the various TV series, Legends of Awesomeness, The Paws of Destiny, and The Dragon Knight take place between these various films. Now, the exact time frame for these films is a bit difficult to nail down. A lot of the aspects of Chinese culture they borrow from are from different periods of time. For example, the first movie has elements of architecture from both the Ming Dynasty and Qing Dynasty, which ran from the 14th to 17th centuries and the 17th
It's
to
Qing,
20th
not
centuries,
King.
respectively. But the events of Kung Fu Panda 2 give us a way more exact date. In that movie, Po and the Furious Five face off against an angry old peacock named Lord Shin, and we learn that Shin's parents invented gunpowder while creating fireworks. However, Shin took their invention and weaponized it, and that, my friends, is why we can't have nice things, whether it's IRL or in the DreamWorks timeline. Historically, the use of gunpowder in weapons in China started during the Song Dynasty, who ruled from 960 to 1279 AD, and that is our foot in the door. And just to further drive this home, in a deleted scene from Kung Fu Panda 3, Ho says,
Any idea how many Tang Dynasty shields we have here?
the Tang Dynasty reigned between the 7th and 10th centuries, right before the Song Dynasty rose to power. It's just perfect timing. But we can narrow it down even further thanks to exactly how the gunpowder is being used in these movies. See, as early as the 970s, the Songs were using flaming arrows with gunpowder as long-range weapons on the battlefield. But in Kung Fu Panda 2, we aren't talking about flaming arrows. The gunpowder is being used to build cannons. These sorts of proto-cannons were first used in the Song Dynasty around 1126 AD, so we're going to use that as an anchor point for the franchise, putting all of the Kung Fu Panda movies in the 1120s.
Yesterday's history, tomorrow's a mystery, but today is a gift.
Wise words, Master Oogway. Wise words. Now, you might think it's It's a bit strange that we don't see any humans in stories like Kung Fu Panda despite existing on a world with humans. But there's a good reason for that, thanks to the next set of films in our timeline, Shrek, plus all of its sequels, specials, and spin-offs. Yeah, in these movies we get our first real look at probably the biggest and most important conflict in the DreamWorks universe, the persecution of talking animals. Throughout the Shrek movies, we see various talking animals hit with various levels of discrimination. The first time we meet Donkey, he's basically being sold like cattle. Same thing with a family of bears, the big bad wolf, 3 little pigs, and 3 blind mice. All of them were being locked up in cages, and all of them were talking animals just trying to live their lives and get by, but were banished to Shrek's swamp along with the other fairy tale creatures. Even heroes like Puss in Boots will often decide to shed their clothes and live as pets, resigning themselves to simpler existence in exchange for safety. And that's a pattern that will only continue to get worse as time goes on in this world. It's really kind of dark when you think about it. As Shrek himself says,
Look, I'm not the one with the problem, okay? It's the world that seems to have a problem with me.
people really can be the worst. But when exactly on our timeline is all of this happening? Well, fortunately for us, Shrek has some very enthusiastic and very thorough fans. Over on Reddit, for instance, a leading Shrek scholar, and yes, that is a real thing that actually exists, user CheesyStuff14 laid out an incredibly detailed timeline for the Shrek films, one that's pretty definitive.
The stamina recovery
So
delay
myself,
doesn't seem
there's
to be
way too much
working.
detail to cover everything here today, but it's definitely worth a read if you want all of the Shrek lore
But honestly,
pumped into your veins. But for our
don't
purposes,
mind.
here are the key points. Firstly, during Shrek 3's dream sequence, we can see that
I
Shrek
do want
graduated
double
in
jump to
1409,
work.
thanks to Roman numerals. So, right off the bat, we know we're in the 1400s for this franchise. The original Puss in Boots, a prequel that takes place before Shrek, opens on a festival with bonfires and fireworks, mirroring St. John's Eve, celebrated across Spain's coastal cities. This holiday is observed on June 23rd, and we know that this happened on a Tuesday thanks to the Dance by Tuesday night scene. Only year June 23rd fell on a Tuesday around this time was 1416. The series Adventures of Puss in Boots would also slot in right before this movie, and it even has an episode with a blood moon that has magical significance, just like the rest of this universe. But, no joke, this show ends with the Earth's total annihilation and the cast using a magical stone to rewind time and undo that, thus avoiding all of the adventures to begin with. Even in the canon of the show didn't happen. Jumping forward slightly, we know that Shrek and Shrek 2 took place in 1421 and 1422 respectively, thanks to an issue of the Far, Far Away Times found on the Shrek 2 DVD. That put Shrek 2 in June of 1422, and given that this film takes place after Shrek and Fiona's extended honeymoon, it makes sense for the first film to be about a year prior. Shrek 3 takes place in the autumn of 1424, thanks to evidence from the lunar calendar. Again, shoutouts to Reddit user CheesyStuff14 for working that one out. It's crazy. Because of that, we can figure out that Shrek and Fiona's kids would be born in 1425, and we see their first birthday in Shrek Forever After. That film in 1426. The filmmakers estimated that Puss in Boots: The Last Wish takes place 10 years after that date in 1436. And finally, though it isn't out yet, we can see that Shrek's children will be teenagers in Shrek 5, meaning that it should take place in the 1440s. Man, that was tedious to put together, but thankfully, the next film is going to be way easier, and that would be The Road to El Dorado, which takes place in 1519. Thank you, on-screen title card. We love it when they make it easy for us. By the way, I gotta say, this movie is an absolute classic. Big childhood memories on this film. Also, we see more evidence of the moon deity in this film, too. In the High Priest's book, we see more definition of late, suggesting that some cultures native to the Americas do. So, here we can once again fast forward to Spirit, Stallion, and Cimarron, which was in the late 1860s. Now,
Alright,
it takes
I
place
can't
during
get the double jump
construction
to
of
work, and
the
it
Transcontinental
seems
Railroad. The work on the railroad began in 1863. It didn't really pick up steam until
some of the models are a little
it
whacked
didn't
up.
really pick up steam until the years
So when I
after the
put them
Civil
below
War.
like
Its main
this,
route was completed in 1869. And you know what? It probably could have been done a lot earlier if not for Spirit. Anyway, that also brings us to Spirit Untamed, where we can peek at a newspaper that dates this film to 1887. Thanks for that one, DreamWorks animators. It's nice to have a couple dates that are just set in stone. These movies also show us just how much can change with the talking animals after the humans started treating them poorly. Though Spirit in these films seems to understand human speech, at least like a little bit, he can't speak their language like Puss in Boots or the Masters in Kung Fu Panda. Anyway, our next film is a bit more challenging place, Chicken Run. Just like Spirit, we once again see a society of chickens who seem to understand human speech but never actually talk to the humans. Understandable since they're trying to kill them. Anyway, I've seen some people online claim that this calendar right here shows July 1959. But most calendars run Saturday through Sunday. If that's the case here, that means that the first fell on a Tuesday, and in 1959, that only happened twice, in September and December. Judging from the leafless trees in the movie, and the fact that there are a lot of knitted hats in the film, we're gonna say that it's winter, and therefore it takes place in that.
I'm just gonna disable the high jump since I don't like the front flip.
December date, putting Chicken Run in December of 1959. And with that settled, we can now head over to an absolute English classic, Wallace and Gromit, The Curse of the Were-Rabbit. Yeah, this one's strange because it itself is part of a wider franchise, but this was the only movie made by DreamWorks, so it's the only one that counts. Tragic because I would just love for bits like this to be canon.
Come on, Gromit, we've got to hide the body.
Anyway, this one once
What?
again features a sentient animal that understands human speech but doesn't talk. It's becoming more and more of a pattern in this universe, isn't it? Now, placing Curse of the Were-Rabbit is a bit of a wild ride. Harry Bunting, over on Medium, found that the pest control van in the movie has a real registration, ATK 172. DreamWorks is on this movie. The animations drove a real version of the van around to promote the film with the same registration. Using that, we can see that the vehicle was manufactured in 1964, so the movie has to take place after that. Additionally, the prices at the store use D to denote the old penny. The UK completely changed over to a decimal currency on Decimal Day, which was February 15th, 1971. So we know the movie has to take place between 1964 and early 1971. And finally, we see a calendar where September 17th falls on a Saturday. And between 64 and 71, only 1 year had September 17th on a Saturday, 1966. So Wallace and Gromit must take place then. But while a calendar lets us nail down that date, it doesn't really help us for our next film, Boss Baby. Jeez, do we really have to talk about Boss Baby? Yeah. Okay.
I'm pretty
This
sure
one
it's
has a
double jump
completely
that changes
illegible
the
calendar in the
animation.
background throughout the entire
Since the
film.
somersault
We're
is only
so
supposed to
close,
be
but
the double
still
jump.
far away. Even the titular Boss Baby's birth certificate omitted the year. But thankfully, in the final moments of the film, we do get one concrete date. March 31st, 2017. The date that Tim's daughter Tina was born. We know that the Boss Baby sequel takes place 30 years after the main events of the first film. So that puts Boss Baby in 1987. God, that was a lot of work. But next up, there's Ants, with its creepy, uncanny, well, ants. This one always gave me the I'm not gonna lie. We don't have a lot of clues to work with to date this one, but in the final shot, as the camera pans out, you can see New York City
Wow,
looking
that
roughly
is
like
so
it did in the
useful.
mid-90s. Notice how the Twin Towers are still visible? That means it had to take place before 2001.
Are we
So
sure
we're
it's
just going to
double
go with
jump
the
or
year
is
that
it
the
just
movie was
high
released,
jump?
1998. So, okay, believe it or not, but all of this was the easy part of the timeline. Like, once we hit the year 2000, things get way, way more complicated for the DreamWorks theory. I mean, seriously, how the heck are we going to make Monsters vs. Aliens and Megamind work? Where are the Trolls movies going to fit in here? And how the heck is the B movie the key to this whole theory? Well, loyal theorists, we did figure all of that out and more. And if you want to see how we did it, you'll just have to subscribe for part 2 before the end of the year. Don't forget to leave a comment with the code word for who you would think would win in a fight, and remember that it's always just a theory. A film theory. And cut. That's how I know all these people were born in 2019. It's because they don't know what it was like playing against Zoo while it had these nerfs. You didn't need Broad Bowl. You didn't need Wrath Fears 2 and 3. Alright? And you're gonna see. You will see.
1 week later.
I got baited by the VW short. This deck is so much worse in Master Duel. It is not playable without the armor cards. It is not playable without the armor cards. No shot, that's your normal. Whoa! Yeah, of course. Go for it.
Oh no.
I
Oh.
punched a hole in the wall. I was so frustrated. Hilarious. Is there a world in which we fire this and draw? Because then they could chain Maxi and we're fucked because we can't troll. So we let this go. You activate the effect of Shangri-La? Oh, you fool. Right? If we have a Maxi, that's okay though. Like, none of this matters. It's legitimately over. I can't think of a combination of cards that prevents us from winning here. It would have to be like Ash. No, that's step one. Show me what we're working with. We've got something. Could be Maxi here. Oh, this isn't very cash at all. That's why they fucked up the first turn board. They don't know how to play the deck. We'll take this. We have to check deck after this. I believe you cannot. I'm so
Okay, I
interested
think
in
that's
what
the
this is going
last
to
of
be.
my edits. Hopefully.
Is Artheosis? It is. No, it's not. Oh god. Wait, is it? Their Theosis, our Big Bang. Oh my god, they banished our Big Bang face down? Oh, wow. That is so funny. That is so comical. So we go Hammer Kong into the Shangri-La, banish face down. This guy, main phase 2, Rydent. God, I love Whiptail so fucking much. I'm gonna play only Whiptail. Fucking Thoroughblade. I should play Thoroughblade. That's crazy. Oh, I should have done that. It's gonna prevent me. That was like a huge misplay. Really frustrating. Yeah, whoopsie doodle. We needed to get to 4 and lose one of them. Dumb shit.
You know what? It's
I
entirely
get scratch
possible
the game is
something
still
else.
over.
Like maybe Hyrule Rebalance is causing the
I don't know how we won that one. Given his
thing.
opener, there was never a scenario in which we should have even been remotely in it.
But like that
oh my
doesn't
god,
seem
people are just
likely. Why would
retarded to
they
lose to
why
this
would
deck. I don't know
they
what it is.
I just lost the charm on this necklace, and I'm really sad. No, it's not pearl. It's like it's really beautiful little like silver compass, and then it has like blue. I'm really sad because I wore it every day this year.
and yeah, I just remembered this changes nothing about the dash.
Moment of the silence breaks the glass.
It might have to do with our height.
And I left my name and phone number, description of the necklace.
Because Linkle is shorter. Like that's depressing. I don't want her to be taller. She's fine enough as she is.
The other guy is this little ethereal young woman. Her name is Galatea, which is, I really want, I'm lobbying for that for a middle name for a girl child. What the hell? It's a beautiful name. Galatea. And she has, it's like a
No, it's like an ancient name too. So. Maghirap ka na sa walang tigil na
I am unreasonably upset at this. Hold on, I just remembered something. Incredible. I think this is to account for the multi-hits you get at higher levels, I suppose. But that seems inconsistent. I'm gonna make it 25%. So 30 decrease is what I should be going for, right? It's a really weird name. What the fuck? Okay, so easy slow bow for some reason just doesn't fucking uh, turn off. It has nothing to do with jump height. I'm gonna try this one more time. Let's start by uninstalling.
Basta may magic, ang simpleng sabaw,
What is this? The song that plays when somebody versus Sans. What? That's just Megalovania, right? What? Hold on. Is this Carlos? It's just him. It's just Megalovania. What? Carlos, you madman. And I'm thinking to get something. John Kratos. Thank you, Nicholas, for 11 rock on. Thank you very much. Friends fight? Wait, what? Pacifist? What the frick? What? Hold on. I need to know what blocks that stream up. You find yourself on the 10th anniversary website. Oh my god. What? Oh man, that's a hard freaking ride thing. That's so tough.
I'll try use default link stats as well and see if that can do anything. Reduce run speed even though I kinda don't want to as well. Damn it, there's loading everywhere. I'm sure it's the exact same thing.
A while ago, I made a video about gender roles in Undertale, and while I had a lot to discuss, Deltarune is definitely a game that has even more content to touch upon, and I can't believe it's taken me this long to make a Deltarune version. Today, let's dive into the role that gender plays in developing Deltarune's story. A hill I will gladly die on is enforcing that Chris is in fact non-binary. They are only referred to using they-them pronouns. They appear androgynous. No one ever genders them. It makes zero sense to me for people to argue that their gender is decided by the player. The beginning sequence tells us we can't choose who we are in this world, implying Chris is their own entity that we possess. And I don't know, it's kind of like that's one of the biggest plot points of the whole game. It also makes zero sense for people to argue that Chris isn't non-binary because their gender is never stated, so it means it's not canon. Look me in the eyes right now and just say it to my face that you can't handle diversity being represented. Since you're going to pull arguments out the hoo-ha about this and try to argue labels off of Chris because they're never explicitly mentioned. This makes no sense to me. Why can't there be a non-binary character? Why does a non-binary character have to yell, "Hey guys, it's me, the non-binary character," for anyone to just accept it? What is so bad about a character that has no gender? Why do you have to put your pronouns on the character you play as? Were you not all the same goofies playing Zelda? Nobody put their pronouns on Link. You are not Chris, bro. Pack it up. This is an RPG, not a me PG.
Haha.
I'm
Me when I
tired
play
of
Linkelmon.
in the same sentence. Who is he? What game are you
My
playing?
pronouns
Delta
will be she,
Republic?
her forever.
Deltarune the character? You're so fake, bro. You're such a fake fan. You look so stupid right now. Who is he? You have reading comprehension skills of a blind goldfish if you think Chris is a boy. I hate to be the one to tell you this.
Of course, it
Now let's
starts when
pretend
I'm all when I.
that Chris is possibly born a boy and transitioned and or thought they should be a boy. Through the man country apron. I've said this once and I'll say it again. It does not goddamn matter if Chris was born a boy, girl, or rubber band. They use they them. That's all that matters. However, use this text and some thinking to come up with some theories on their possible motivations or pasts. Also, side note, looking up man country egg room will show you pictures of the oldest gay bathhouse. What is Toby
What?
trying to tell us here? Early canon? It will also show a bunch of farms and giant gardens and birds. I need to be more specific in my searches on Google. Anyways, a sign reads, "It's a man's world," and another reads that non-men are A-OK too. While this could be a comment on Chris being human in a monster world, and us being able to talk with the man behind the tree here and in no other egg room, and that's why it's called Man Country, I still think we can look at it through the view of validating Chris's gender in a way. My two takes on this
There you
to me,
go.
the
Oh
best
my
of
fucking
is that
god.
Chris
Was
is a man
that so
after all,
hard?
and
Ah!
Chris feels like they should, for whatever reason, be more man-like, but aren't. Maybe since they have an older brother, that they think they should be more like him, or maybe more man-like and stand up against Susie bullying them. Could be some possible candidates here. With Chris being non-binary, shown through the use of they-them pronouns, and the possibility that the sign dialogue is just Toby straight up saying, "Chris is not a man," a lot of impactful storytelling is present in the game. I already mentioned how I think Chris
Oh
being
man, I'm
possessed by
so
the
much
full looks as an
slower.
allegory
It's
for
so
what it's like being
depressing.
trans, feeling controlled by what you should
But
be rather
whatever,
than who you really are.
as long as it
I think
makes
it's also
things
possible
work.
that
I
being
mean,
human in a monster world could also serve this purpose. Different, and no one knowing what to do with you. This could also be used the same way for things like being a person of color, being disabled, or being neurodivergent. Yes, that's the power of really good writing and being able to relate something to a bigger sense. Chris being non-binary is big and impactful for the story. Aside from just representation for the trans community, like I mentioned before, us possessing Chris and then fighting for freedom is a huge theme of Deltarune. Chris being trans further exemplifies this and embodies what it feels like to be trans. I talk about all of that a bit more in depth in my Chris analysis video. For now, let's look at the weird route and the gender roles illustrated by Chris and Noelle. I've made my fair share of contributions into the Weird Route commentary, but I do want to reiterate some thoughts I've probably mentioned on this channel before. Not that any of you subscribed. And organize what I'm thinking here since this is the video to do it. Shout out to Ali Dreamer for exposing me to some of these ideas for the first time. So, in the Weird Route, we force Noelle and Chris into a heteronormative relationship, where Chris plays the man and Noelle plays the obedient female. I always saw the romantic undertones of the Weird Route and ignored them because they felt, well, weird. And now I see how intentional they are and literally are there to add a layer of discomfort. Taking two queer teens and actively erasing their identities on top of, manipulating one of them. The ring, Spamton's comments, the whole dynamic is all just a pile of forced heteronormality on two characters we know are queer. Meaning behind this interpretation is a strong criticism of the world forcing heterosexuality onto people and erasing queer identities. We don't know how this route will end, but I can assume not well. Perhaps there will be a moment that really shows you can't just force away people's identities into what is more normal. I think the Weird Route also paints dynamics like this in any relationship, including heterosexual ones, as disturbing and almost dystopian. I mean, I get chills thinking about the interactions of Noelle and Chris in the Weird Route. Seeing Chris take the lead and manipulate and abuse Noelle, who is now powerless and obedient. Something I want to mention that Stuffed Alpaca brought up in her video on gender in Deltarune is the trope of next-door neighbor / childhood friend female characters becoming romantic interests, which I think is played on in the Weird Route with the romantic undertones mentioned. She also mentions how in the normal route this trope fails, since Noelle is a lesbian, and Chris is not a male, and Chris is an entity outside of us, so it's not really standard RPG trope that it could have been. I find how the trope is being squashed in the normal route and purely played along with in the Weird Route really interesting and good writing on Toby's part. It serves as a commentary on the trope in both instances, which in part is commentary on gender roles and the typical RPG love story as a whole. Noelle herself, outside of the messed up romance, provides a commentary on misogyny and feminism in both the normal and weird routes. She's a passive character who, in the weird route, is easily manipulated by her shy and people-pleasing traits. She winds up completely powerless, not in a literal power sense, in a having a voice of her own sense. In the normal route, she embraces who she is and begins to gain confidence, but she's still awkward and passive. There's nothing wrong with being shy as a person or someone who doesn't like conflict, but I think we can look into her character a bit more here. I think something worth noting is how Noelle is so polite and willing to help others, and I feel like if we really want to look at this under a microscope, we can assume she was told the typical, be polite always, don't cause issues, don't argue, phrases thrown out to a lot of young girls, saying they need to be respectful and ladylike over opinionated.
The
There's also
fuck does
yet
it
getting
even
used
mean
and
to be
stepped all over
ladylike?
a lot.
The fuck does it
Now,
even mean
Noelle
to be
isn't all bad
manlike?
traits in female characters. She also shows growth and is able to become more powerful with her voice and more confident. I think she could really grow into a more opinionated and fierce, in a way, character as the normal route progresses. I think the weird route will continue to progress with her becoming more and more oppressed and held to these more negative standards of being a girl,
Yes!
and will
Oh
ultimately
my god!
breaking away
Fuck
for,
my
I think,
anus!
giving in.
Alright,
Additionally,
let's do this.
Noelle is another Toby Fox character that's gay but gets no stigma about it. Unless Carol introduces some stigma, but I highly doubt that's the route she'll take. I think she'll be more, well, you're such a disappointment. Why aren't you perfect? I'm looking for this. And not, well, no kissing girls in my house. Also, I do have to note, Noelle has issues too. Even with the romance in the video, where Noelle transfams in Girl and Noelle Archer. I still think anyone can upcanon LGBT identities onto characters so long as it doesn't erase previously determined identities, so I'm not trying to shove this down, I stand with the rule. Also gotta mention this, even if it's superficial, Joelle is classic feminine lesbian, and like yay femmes, yay normie lesbians. Like it's always good to represent the minority, and it was great to resent. Not what I said. It's always great to represent a stereotype free. Nonetheless, shout out Butch Tomboy Super. We still love you. I'm scrolling a Reddit thread while looking for some ideas to write into my script. Please don't cancel me for taking inspiration from
I was under the impression it was typical for lesbians to be woman-like.
And all I thought about
As a very straight friend of mine, male straight friend of mine, likes to say, there's nothing manlier than being gay.
That I can make on other characters that are kind of superficial and or did not have enough, for me to run with and write a full section on. Even though I noticed this section is longer than both the Noel and
Daruf's protection is now ready to roll.
Dude, I am right here.
Where the hell am I?
Do you have hearing? Can you hear?
If you have something to add, don't be afraid to comment.
Well, I whistled and I called somebody and I called a whole bunch of people I didn't really want to call.
Showcase of toxic masculinity. I he views his own work as using romantically, and it's so cringe and funny that it's done right. And oops, sorry for the levels. But if you were to break it down, according to sympathize with their haters, but that's the one. Strong, smart, and not full of bullshit, and that is so funny. What the hell is happening? People don't have anything serious on this channel. That's so toxic masculinity. Toxic masculinity, if it was even more gay than it already is. I don't know, I'm a firm person. I saw someone say this in the book, I mean, Berkeley literally says Chris will have to fight for his hand at the festival. You don't gaff, they're not binary. I think Berkeley he can't show emotions. I mean, hard work is so the girls do. But at the same time, he's just such a loser, bad yarn, barely understands social cues. He's so annoying. He's so endearing. He's like boy fail. I love Bert. I'm sorry. I hope he develops more and isn't just a punching bag for jokes and continues like being low-key misogynistic. I hope there's another that toxic masculinity is going to be the father. Or an explanation as to why that way. Now, Pokey boys and
I mean, we got enough explanation as to why he is the way he is. It's just the way he is. You fucking suck.
I say this every video. Is it Rouse or Rouse? I say Rouse. Soft confidence. Full of empathy and emotional intelligence. I mean, I know more guys who have limited issues. He chooses to literally pacify characters and doesn't want to hurt anyone. Is an amazing emotional regulation in a world and time where we normalize young men lashing out with anger as a display of masculinity. Susie is rough. She's mean. She wants to fight, which I think we can all agree stems from unseen issues in her home life or upbringing that reflect her need to bully and harass others. Hurt people, hurt people. Even after she opens up a bit more to us, she's still an overall more violent and tomboyish character. We can all agree and see how these...
Pa. Ano pa? Hindi pa. Wag pa. Wag pa. Hindi na pa. Ako na po bahala sa dinner ka. Yes pa. This place has a proper entrance. Did you guys know that? I've always just entered from above since it's way easier anyways. But yeah, those guardians are supposed to be a challenge you have to overcome to get to this memory location. I don't think they thought that one through very well. I want 3 ancient short swords. Oops.
Traits and characters show the opposite of typical gender roles and norms. Now, seeing a tomboy in media isn't shocking or life-changing anymore. We all know masculine dressing girls and feminine dressing boys exist. While there's still
Hell
a
yeah.
bit more stigma surrounding the latter, both are becoming more and more respected and observed in society in most cultures. It's so
I forgot I'm
superficially funny,
broke.
though, with both these characters,
Hold
and at
on.
this point, the whole cast is just fighting against the typical roles of gender in some way, shape, or form,
You know, I'll
criticizing
take a torch.
stereotypes. Additionally, we have the unks of the series, Chris and Noelle's parents. Asgore and Toriel are flawed, deep characters, and the fandom keeps simplifying into motherly sweet Toriel and silly boy-fail Asgore, or into uncaring and selfish Toriel and creep deadbeat Asgore. Both these characters can portray a multitude of traits here. We don't need to just choose one. Toriel is caring and motherly and plays into the standard mother who takes care of children's emotional and caregiving needs, while also having made mistakes, got too drunk, shattered the trust she had with Susie. While Asgore is written as both a silly, carefree
She
dad who's
shattered
trying
it
his
all
best and one that's
in one
overstepping
day,
Toriel's
baby.
boundaries and not doing enough to provide for his kids. The relationship seems to showcase typical mother has to do everything while the father is absent doing his own thing tropes, and I think even before the divorce, this is probably how things were. Asgore is written to just be charming and lovable enough for most of us to be able to ignore how he stalks Toriel and fails to provide for his family. And yet Toriel makes one mistake, and somehow years of building her up as a mother who loves her children and do anything to protect them gets thrown away. Now she's suddenly so selfish, uncaring, irresponsible. It's just so easy for some people to be able to hate a female character. I mean, maybe it's not quite an example of
People
this, but
like
it starts to
clinging
sound like Toriel can join the
to
characters hated
character
just because they're
traits.
female group. And people might
That's
argue,
literally how
no, I
fandoms
wouldn't
and
hate
community
Toriel if
are.
she wasn't selfish and didn't do that to
Headcanons. It
Chris.
happens a lot in
So now
Toho.
Toriel is
I
only a
see it happen a
likable
lot in
character if
fucking
she
Genshin.
truly plays into the motherly
Even the
trope of
writers
always
do it.
being
It's called
caring and
flanderization,
responsible
I
parent,
believe is the
while
term
Asgore
for it.
goofs around. She can't be lovable with flaws and having made one mistake so
Sino
wrong
literally
in the
just cracks
entirety
jokes all the
of
time
their career.
nowadays.
Carol is an example of a character who defies the tropes of a
It's
warm,
become his
caring
entire
mother who's
character.
cold and powerful. While I think it's way
His
too shallow
identity
to
as
say
a
that
member of the
Carol is a cold
Darshan or
mother and
whatever the
Toriel is
heck
the
it's
warm,
called, I don't
caring mother
remember.
who needed that, while both characters are going to be seen
Seems to
having
be
multiple
it
traits and
seems to
sides to
be
them,
getting
I still think
forgotten
this
more and more.
juxtaposition of the two characters is interesting. I also think it's interesting for Noelle and could show why she grew up to be so passive and scared to speak her mind if she grew up with a harsh mom. But that's its own thing to dive into. Additionally, what's interesting is even though Toriel is more of a caring mother and Carol is more of a cold one, both their kids seem to have issues nonetheless. Noelle is too passive and won't state her opinion. She's scared and lets people use her. Chris obviously has some unresolved trauma of sorts, which I'm sure they have in common with Noelle. And outside of also being possessed, they seem to
That's
have other
weird.
issues prior to
Having
which, like wanting to
my
be friends.
thing being back
While
to
we can't
normal.
blame Jess's disappointment well and Chris' trauma on Carol or Toriel, at least not now, maybe later, knows what we can still consider both parents' reactions to it. I noticed in my script and myself in writing this that Carol and Toriel are single parents. Although there's a difference between, being bedridden with a mental illness and being divorced with an absent father. I still think it's interesting how Toriel and Carol seem to be single parents for one reason or another. They seem to mirror each other, having two kids around the same age as each other, both just taking different approaches to raising them. But we haven't seen enough of Carol to really figure out how she's handling Nora's trauma, aside from her seeming to care deeply for Des and want to find her. I wonder if Carol acknowledges Des' disappearance with Noelle, because it seems that Toriel almost leaves the town ignores it. For Toriel, Chris was admitted to art therapy at some point in their lives. While we don't know before or after Des' disappearance, it can also be assumed Chris might have had a violent past of sorts. And Toriel does worry about them and how they're acting. While she doesn't ever seem to sit down and have a heart-to-heart with Chris, you can't write off that this possibility never happened. I always like thinking about how different the story might be if Carol or Toriel was the father in the situation. I think it's all an intriguing discussion and commentary on gender roles and the expected roles of parents. And I think it's all also something we have to wait to find out more about in terms of how these characters will develop, and if any of these tropes will be followed or killed in the story, and how. Well, thank you all for joining me in this video, and for all the support recently on my channel. It's super close to 1K, and that's amazing. I have to think of something to post for that. I hope you all enjoyed hearing my thoughts, and if you have anything to add, please feel free to comment.
I fucking love that we just run with no sound. I mean, there is still sound, it's just really, really quiet. That is really scary. If someone can run that quietly, I would be scared of them. I know I put one of the short swords in the thingy, but like, fuck it, who says I can't have 4? Huh, I thought shield surfing wasn't supposed to do anything. 3, 4, 5... Oh wait, I'm shield surfing on road.
The roof's protect.
Huh. I guess shield surfing isn't free. I might have accidentally turned it off.
It is now ready to roll. Ha! Ha! Ha!
It is my pleasure.
This one near Eldon's always one of the harder ones for me to track down. Hmm.
Daruk's protection is now ready to roll.
Not in the mood. What in the fuck?
That cut doesn't look too bad, actually. You're fine for now. But you know there's...
Yeah, that cutscene makes more sense in Dark Army Resurrection. Run! I need to test something out. At the very least, this will still heal for a lot of hearts. Hmm. Keep forgetting the album is in the same as your map because these are all the Sheikah Slate related functions. Was it Battery Lake? The Congo isn't here. Oh wow. Uh, they're missing on the menu screen as well. Oh, but the speed up thing is still there. And the actual menu. Alright. It's a little too much. I wanted Pro Mode to be like Tears of the Kingdom at the very least. Oh well.
Miva's grace is ready.
There's only so many forests it could be. I have 8 keys, I may as well. Dude, why do chests still have such shitty weapons? Not bad. Ooh, they're rare. Yep, this is my cue to just run.
Urbosa's fury is ready.
That's duality. I don't have that weapon yet. Hello there. Oh my god.
Daru's protection is now ready to roll.
What is like doing in this cutscene? Sword swinging exercises. Alright, the last cutscene's gonna be really hard to get. We're going to have to gun it. I just realized I was supposed to do the shrine here since there's a shrine there. May as well, it's a test of strength. Sure, let me do that. I went ahead and did this anyways as well. Let's just gun it. Oh, forgot I had the whole set. That's a lot of durability, what the heck?
Daruk's protection is now ready to roll.
Oh yeah, the one in the desert. I haven't gotten it yet. That's so embarrassing.
Oh. Ah. Oh. Ah. Oh. Oh. Ah. Hmm? Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, Linkle's diary. Aw, that's so sweet. Oh, yikes, he was one of the guards. Right. That is canon. My best friend. Yikes, it was Linkle's fault in this universe. Yikes. What? It's so sweet. I want to get some yellow hearts from Aya, but there she is.
Yeah!
Gotta go have lunch or dinner.